Hola, ¿cómo están? What is going on, everybody? DarkScheme here, bringing you another recap for the Halo World Championship and a qualifier. This time for the last qualifier, which was qualifier number 4. And with this qualifier all said and done, that means there are only 2 more qualifiers left. And since the online ladder is closed, the only way to get a higher seed is to play in these qualifiers. Once the qualifiers are done with, I want to remind you guys that there will be a regionals final taking place February 19th through the 21st. And this is a big deal because only the top 8 teams from the NA region will be making it to the Halo World Championship finals. And with that said, there is something interesting going on with the X Games and with one of the online qualifiers, specifically the last online qualifier. So for those who don't know, X Games Aspen will take place January 28th through the 31st, and the last online qualifier will take place January 31st, meaning that the last day of the X Games will overlap with the final online qualifier for North America. So if these dates are sticking, then the teams not attending X Games will want to take advantage of this opportunity to gain some last-minute online qualifier points to help them out in the regional finals, or to even be able to qualify in the regionals finals. Now, with that said, I don't think it's a big deal. Those competing at the X Games will not be worried about getting placings or even having to be knocked out because they are the top 6 teams who are competing in the X Games. With that said, maybe they will change the date for the last online qualifier. It is possible there is some room between the last online qualifier and the regionals finals. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But I thought I would just point that out because it is a little odd. Without further ado though, here are the top 8 teams for the last North American qualifier. Coming in 5th through 8th place, we have Team Liquid, Team Envious, Team Let's Get This Money, and Dream Team. In 3rd and 4th place, we have Counter Logic Gaming, also known as CLG, and Renegades. And in 2nd place, we have Evil Geniuses, which means that in 1st place, the only team that has been consistently placing in the top 1st and 2nd slots is Team Allegiance, also known as Allegiance eSports. And that is some of the most interesting and top-level Halo, competitive Halo gameplay I have seen to date. The finals between Allegiance and EG were some of the best online qualifier matches to watch. But before I get into that, there are some teams to note, since there were some team changes among the top 8, and as you guys can see, there is a new face in the top 8. So let me go over that real quick. So Team Leftovers is now known as Renegades, since they have been rumored to be picked up by the Renegades organization, which should be officially announced before X Games if that is happening. There is a little bit of a still rumor to it, and it is all depending on what Team Leftovers has as far as opportunities with other organizations. So we'll have to wait and see. Now, that is the big team change that is happened so far, and this has affected pretty much everybody. Leftovers was Spartan, Victory, Cloud, and Commonly, but since the team changed, the change moved out Cloud and picked up Ninja, formerly from Liquid. Now, since Ninja moved out from Liquid, that means Liquid's roster was changed as well, and Liquid's roster was Ninja, Ace, Unlegit, and Hysteria unofficially, since Chick stepped down and entered a manager position on Liquid's organization. So the change did move out Ninja and Hysteria for APG and Hines. And APG and Hines were formerly from Team Envious, also known as Envy. And with that, there was a change for Envy as well. Envy was APG, Hines, Mikwin, and Pistola. Now the change moved out APG and Hines, and they picked up Cloud and Hysteria. And those were the big 3 changes but there are still 2 more changes left, which is including Dream Team, which Dream Team was Posey, Juicy Fruit, Prototype, Entire Iron, but since the change, they moved out Posey and Juicy Fruit to pick up Ares and Jesse the Rizzle, also known as Jesse Peace. And since Posey and Juicy Fruit were moved out of Dream Team, Team Let's Get This Money was revived by Posey and Juicy Fruit, and they added on Omega and Jesse Unleashed. Now, getting into the matches to note from this last qualifier. The first that I wanted to talk about is Renegades versus Team Liquid. This newly formed squad from both sides faced off in a grudge match against each other, with Renegade winning in a dominating fashion. Renegades versus Team Liquid was a quick 2-0 sweep, and with Team Liquid dropping one player who was picked up by Renegades, this was definitely one of those grudge matches to watch. And with this newly formed grudge match versus Team Liquid and Renegades, this means that there is a little bit more excitement versus these teams. And hopefully we see a few more grudge matches picking up from these qualifiers and from all these team changes, because honestly it creates a lot of excitement. Now the next match to note was EG versus CLG. Game 2 was Slayer on Regret, and CLG was down by 14 kills at one point. CLG though ended up clutching the match 50-45 to tie the series up 1-1, with one individual player on CLG, Frosty, going 21-9. Saying that this player went off is a little bit of an understatement. Unfortunately, CLG did not end up winning the series. They ended up losing it 3-1, with EG moving on to the finals. And I have to say, each game was heart-pounding to watch. Again, the finals were probably the best example of Halo 5 being played at a top competitive level. Matches to note here is really the entire series, but if I had to pick one match, I guess it would have to be the final game, Game 5. The series was 2-2, and the Slayer game was the deciding factor to who would be the winner. And for those who don't know, Halo 5 Slayer, it can go either way. I think Slayer is probably the most exciting game type, but that is just me, because like I said, there have been a lot of clutch and comeback games in Slayer. And with that said, Game 5 was Slayer on Plaza, and the game was down to the wire. Score was 49-48, with EG only needing one kill to finish off Allegiance and take the first place finish. Unfortunately, Roy called for a push from Evil Geniuses, as they knew that at least 3 members of Allegiance were sitting in garden area, and as they went for the push, there was a moment of hesitation on Evil Geniuses' side. They thrusted backwards, tying up the score 49-49, with Roy weak and crouching in the flowers area, and Allegiance pretty much took the final kill. Heartbreaking, but definitely a must-watch game. It goes to show how much one mistake can cost. And overall, it was a great series to watch, a great online qualifier. I cannot recommend you guys enough to watch these matches, because they, like I said, are the top Halo teams playing at a top Halo 5 competitive level. And with that said, what do you guys think about the top 8 teams so far? I believe some teams are really great, and other teams are kind of just barely looming on to the 5th/8th place. So in reality, I think it's going to be the regional finals where we really see some of the top teams shine. And I am excited to see which of the top 8 teams gets knocked out, and which of the top 16 teams are able to push forward, jump in, and really, there's one team on my mind, specifically Optic Gaming, which I will be watching from the sidelines, because playing online and playing on LAN is something different. That is pretty much all I have for this recap for you guys. Hopefully you guys can check out some of the matches, some of the games that went down. And as always, I'd like to thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.